Welcome to part two, guys. So this is where I talk about my sort of more my personal life. So yeah, on Tuesday it wasn't a very good day. Basically, I had a little crash in my car. That wasn't very good. It was my fault. I was trying to turn right at a junction and then just pulled out too early and hit this guy. It wasn't a major crash or anything. It wasn't anything. No one was injured or anything, or anything. But it just took off my front bumper, and then I had to pay to get the bumper fixed because I've only got third party fire and theft insurance rather than first party, or the full cover or whatever it's called. Um, so yeah, I had to kind of shell out £200 to fix my car, but the way I looked at it is that if I didn't have my car, it's almost impossible to do reselling without a car. So it's just a forced course really, which I kind of put on myself because I'm kind of a bit almost embarrassed about it really, the crash rather than anything else. It was just I don't know. I was just there on the line and then waiting for like nearly 2 odd minutes, and it was kind of like because I was right in the middle of rush hour, which was the biggest thing I shouldn't have done. I should have either waited later or gone earlier or whatever. But I was kind of right in the middle of rush hour, and then I just pulled out too early, and it's just a stupid mistake. Never mind, I'll have to learn. Let's move on anyway. Um, so yeah, personal life wise, from like out of that, it's been it's been okay. I've certainly felt better about reselling and generally better about things at the moment. I feel applying for jobs and applying for just applying for jobs at the moment and having a few sort of employers look at my CV and stuff. A few employers have actually even just emailed me saying, look, we've got a job here, and if you'd be interested, do you want to apply for it and stuff. And that's been quite nice because people seeing your CV, because basically I put my CV on like a jobs website and people can view it. So that's been quite good in one way. Although a lot of the jobs kind of a little bit like because basically my history is I've worked in IT before, and a lot of the jobs are kind of like IT, which they kind of because that's kind of my background. And a lot of them were sort of they were sending me sort of like IT jobs and stuff, and I was like, but I don't know if I want to go back into IT at the moment. I don't know. In honesty, I don't feel confident enough, I don't think, to really go back into it again. Um, Although it's kind of what I studied at university, and it's probably really what I should be doing, really. But it's kind of just I kind of felt that I wanted to give reselling a good go, and obviously I'd been made redundant about 3 times in separate jobs, and it was just kind of getting to me. And I'm not happy, not very happy, because recently as well, my brother potentially has been made redundant, which is a bit of a kick in the teeth, because he got himself a pretty decent job in London, and now after a year it seems like it's going to be gone, which is a bit of a I kind of feel for him. But apparently he's got an opportunity to reapply for a different role when they're going to give him first sort of audition, if you will, to see if he can, if they feel he's capable of stepping up to this sort of, it's a bit above him, the role sort of thing of what he's currently doing. So I think they kind of need to think whether he can do it or not, and whether he'll actually even apply for that or not. I don't know. I mean, I hope he does, but he said he's thinking about it. But I don't want to talk too much about my brother and that. But anyway, so yeah, I've not really spoken to my parents since too much since Father's Day now, a couple of weeks ago, maybe more, I can't remember now. So I probably need to phone them again and just sort of say what I need to do. I'm going to go over there in 2 weeks' time for a wedding. I haven't booked my flights yet. That's something I need to do actually. I need to try and get that. So I will see them in a couple of weeks' time. I think we're going to have a bit of a heart-to-heart chat and sort of say, I'm going to just have to lay my cards on the table and say, this is my situation and what can you do in terms of helping me. I mean, personally, I think I'm starting to think that maybe I'm going to have to go back to Jersey now, just to even live with my parents, just to even if it's for a couple of weeks or even a month, then just to try and get things together, and then either come back into the UK or whatever. I don't know. It's all up in the air at the moment. And my brother doesn't know whether he's staying in the UK either. Especially if he doesn't have a job, then he pretty much can't stay in the UK. Especially living in London, it's so costly. So there's no way he'll do it. There's no way I'll be able to do it without having a good income coming in. Yeah, what else? I'm trying to think now off the top of my head. So there's, yeah, overall, on my flat, I've got until the 8th of August, which was a month yesterday basically. So I've had 2 months here in the UK. I've only got 1 month left now. I've pretty much got to make a decision soon, I think, now, because I'm pretty sure they're going to either phone me or what have you to follow up on me to see whether I want to renew or not. I've kind of faced the fact that there's no way I'm going to be able to put up the money up front for basically they want 3 months up front. They're going to want in rent. It's just not going to be doable. It's just no way it's going to be doable. I face that fact now, and I'm trying not to stress about it too much, because there's just no way I can do it. I can pay per month, but the problem is that there's so many landlords now who will want a guarantor if you're going to do that, unless you actually have a paid employment, because they see self-employment as basically almost unemployed nowadays, and you know, they see it as you don't have a fixed income. You know, they think it's a risk. So although I know I could pay them every month, but unless I can either get a guarantor or I can get a very, very nice landlord who would actually accept me, allow me to pay per month, which is almost going to be impossible. It's probably not even going to be likely, because so many solicitors and stuff will tell landlords now that you've got to make sure that you can get the rent in, which is fair enough, because you know, if you're going to rent it to someone, you need to make sure that you're going to get the rent, don't you? I mean, I can totally understand from the landlord's point of view that they need their rent. They can't have someone staying there and then potentially having to kick someone out because they can't pay the rent. I mean, that's landlord won't want to do that, and you know, you wouldn't like that done to you either if you were the actual person renting it. So yeah, I don't know. In all honesty, I kind of don't particularly, I mean, there's nothing wrong with the flat, but I don't really want to live with that flat really anymore, if I'm honest. I think really in an ideal world I'd like to live with someone else really, and have even if it's some kind of flat share, I wouldn't mind doing that now. As long as I had my own room and enough space to kind of do my reselling side, I wouldn't mind doing some kind of flat share or house share or something with other people. But trying to do that with absolute strangers is fairly difficult, I think, and there's all kinds of sort of problems. Like my brother's kind of done the whole house sharing or flat sharing thing as well, and he didn't really like it because he said he ended up having to do almost everyone's cleaning and stuff for them, and you know, and the place was not upkept very well at all from other people. And, you know, there was obviously issues with. There's going to be always issues with living with other people, but I admit that I'm not a very clean person myself, in terms of always looking. Well, I mean, I do clean up after myself and what have you, but in terms of like dishes and what have you. But I mean, I'm not the cleanest person. Obviously, with reselling, it's kind of like stuff is kind of just gets everywhere as it is. So it's kind of like trying to keep things tidy when you're reselling is also almost impossible anyway. I think if you're a clean freak, you can't really do reselling anyway. It's just something. You know, if you need a spotless place, then reselling is certainly not going to be for you, is it? Yeah, unless you do FBA, but you know, that's another story altogether. Yeah, so I think ideally I would like to move a little bit further north than where I am currently, and maybe that might be potentially cheaper properties as well. But again, I don't know. I'm still thinking whether I'm going to go back to Jersey or not. I'm still not sure. I guess it all kind of depends whether I can get a job or not in one way, because if I can get a job, I know that I can get a flat, because people will go, oh, he's got a job, he's got fixed money coming in, happy days, we'll happily sign him off and let him have the flat, there's not a problem. but obviously it depends. I mean, I'm trying to look towards more sort of warehousing jobs or warehousing assistant, things like that. That's where I was trying to look at in terms of just trying to get some kind of basic job up, because obviously I sort of talked about it with the driving. I don't think it's going to be possible because of the license problems that I have with Jersey to UK license. It's a bit of a bugger, but yeah, what can do. So yeah, I don't really know in terms of well, basically I don't know the future, but no one does, I guess. Yeah, I think I've just got to try and live in the present and try and keep upbeat as much as I can. Keep trying to do as well as I can with my reselling and keep building. I mean, I am building. I mean, it's not like I'm not building. It's just it's not building quick enough to make it full time yet. That's the reality. I think I'd probably need about another 3 months, and I could probably then go into full time. But I'm starting to think I'm just not going to get that time now because of my current situation. I mean, I certainly think by this time next year I could easily be into full time, but then and have a business which I know that would bring me a full time income. I mean, there's a difference between going full time and then having a business that you know you've got enough knowledge and you've got enough experience and you've got enough stock and behind you that you know that you're going to make a full time income. And like Ken Chapman was talking about, where he's got like nearly 60 grand's worth of stock, you know that you only need, you know, you only need like the 500 of that stock, 500 pounds of that stock every week to sell, and you're into full-time income basically. So you know that you've got the amount of stock there that you're going to make a full-time income. Where the problem that I have is that I don't have that amount of stock, so I don't know where I'm going to make a full-time income. And there are some weeks, especially with payday weekend and what have you, that I can just suddenly get £200, £300 worth of sales just come in within a day or two, and it's just like, it's a bit of a thrill and it's great, but it's consistent, you know. It's having that consistency of knowing that you're going to get X amount every week, or around about X amount every week, and having a business model where you can rely on it totally and you're not in any kind of uncertainty. And that's the hard part of reselling, is getting into that point where you know there's no uncertainty of whether you're going to make a full-time income or not. The problem is that you're always going to have fluctuations, obviously, but if your business overall has enough stock and enough about it to actually see you through the bad times, then you know obviously once the good times come in and the fourth quarter comes in, that's when you're going to make your money. And then the sort of slower times, you're just going to tick along and get enough money just to live basically. So I need to kind of work up into that point, but you can't really do that within a month, or you can't do that within 3 months that I've found that I've got here. The 3 months I've got here, I just couldn't do it. Just not enough time frame basically. I mean, again, if you look at Ken or Nick, you look at how long they've been doing it. You know, they've taken time to build it up, and you just can't just snap on. You know, you just can't. I've just found out that you just can't snap your fingers, buy loads of stock, and you know, you can't build it up that quick. It's just not going to happen unless you've got like a massive cash amount to actually suddenly plunge everything into it all in one go. Then maybe you can. But if you're working it from a set amount of cash, you know, a few grand or what have you, then you're going to take time to build that up and build it up. But I'm rambling big time now. Pardon me. Sorry. Yeah, so I hope you've enjoyed that. This is like a really, really long edition of the Reseller review. I'm having to split it into 2 parts, and it's taking half an hour of my time. It's a bit crazy actually, but no, I'm kind of glad I said it, because I think there was a lot of things I wanted to get off my chest and sort of say, and I think I've got more or less all of them, although I probably missed out a few of them now. I kind of need to get myself a mobile phone holder, I think, for my car, because I hate kind of having to hold my mobile phone up all the time doing this. But anyway, hope you enjoyed that, and me rambling on for too long. I'll probably do a haul video if I will go car booting tomorrow, unless obviously the weather's bad. I mean, weather at the moment doesn't look too optimistic, but I'm pretty sure, I'm hoping it'll be okay. And then I'll do a haul video tomorrow, and then obviously try and get this up, these 2 parts up, certainly by Monday at latest. And I'll update you on my week next week, and hope you like, comment and subscribe for my channel, and we can start building this channel, and hopefully the aim is to get to somewhere near 500 subscribers, but we're kind of not even at 200 yet, so we'll keep building and hopefully one day we'll get there. See you guys, bye.